Hi guys, welcome to my channel Closer to Hope. Today I will be talking about the Watts family. Now I know some of you have heard about the Watts family. I personally found out on Facebook. I didn't know what happened. I was so confused at first when I watched the video, but now I understand. So let's start off with this. There's Shannon Watts, who's a beautiful mother of two little girls, Bella and Celeste, who are both 4 and 3. And there's Chris Watts, who is the most supportive, loving, sweetest, humblest husband that she has ever had. So this picture perfect, and when I mean picture perfect, I mean picture perfect. This family was perfect. Two beautiful little girls, a husband and wife that just loved each other. And I mean, they showed it everywhere. Like, Shannon would post stuff on her page saying how much she loves him, how she's grateful for him being in her life, that she's the luckiest person in the world to be with Chris. And yet, things went awry. Chris, I guess you can say, isn't as good as he seems to be. From the picture that Shannon painted for us, it's now making us kind of confused because all of their friends, even Chris's old friends from when he was in college, they are dumbfounded by this, and they have no words because the person they knew wouldn't commit these crimes, but there was crimes committed, and now Chris is getting the blame for it. And so how does a really loving, perfect husband end up killing his family? Now, people, like every neighbor, every friend they had, they knew how much Chris and Shannon loved each other. And Shannon, she loved him so much that she viewed their marriage as a storybook romance. So like this picture perfect daddy, like you can't imagine him doing anything to his wife, right? But what about his little girls? His daughter Bella, on June 14th, sang this for her dad. She said, "My daddy is a hero. He helps me grow up strong. He helps me snuggle too and reads me books. He ties my shoes. You're a hero through and through. My daddy, daddy, I love you." Now when you think of that, you're just like, oh, that's so cute. And then in the back of your mind, you're just like, how? Why? Like, how could he even? How? Like, his girls were perfect. His wife was perfect. But we don't know. Things happen. People change. People snap. I mean, anything can happen, really. There is speculation about the neighbors saying that the couple was perfect. However, he grew pretty distant after, I guess, she got pregnant again. And people noticed that because he wasn't touching her or kissing her or hugging her as much as he used to. Because he likes a lot of PDA in public. He's very open with his marriage. And so when they would be out places, it would just be so cute and so perfect. But, you know, we can't tell the warning signs, but if that would be a sign for that type of relationship, then yes, it would be an obvious sign that something's wrong when your adoring, loving husband is now just not wanting anything to do with you, doesn't want to touch you, nothing. Like, there's definitely something wrong there. Okay, so August 13th is when the Watts family officially vanished, and Shannon returned home to Frederick, Colorado that Monday afternoon from a work trip. in Arizona. And that was the last time she was seen alive, because a friend reported her missing the next day because Shannon missed a doctor's appointment. When they checked the house, she did come back from her business trip totally fine. The only problem is she's not there. She vanishes. The kids are gone. And yep, everything she has is at the house. Her phone, her wallet, her purse, her keys, literally everything. She came back from the business trip, but she didn't take anything with her. So obviously she vanished. Now on August 14th, Chris gave multiple interviews for his family's safety. But during the interviews, I would say that he was very off. He didn't show emotions as if he was scared or surprised or just sad. He didn't show much emotion towards that. He kind of, his demeanor was very off to me and a lot of people, the way he acted when he was asking for his family. All he said was, I just want everybody home. And when he told the news station that, the KMGH station in Colorado, they had asked him if him and Shannon had gotten into an argument after she came back from the business trip. And he said that it wasn't like an argument, it was an emotional conversation, and I'll just leave it at that. But I want them back, I just want them to come back. Now, the whole time during this interview, he's very uncomfortable. His demeanor is way off. It doesn't show a concerned parent. It doesn't show concern for his wife. Now, this is just personal speculation, but you can tell when you're being deceived by somebody. I mean, there's obvious signs. And he was just too calm, and he would kind of smirk a little bit too. So, I mean, those are things to think about when we think about this case. Like, he looked guilty. And I'm just going to say that. He looked guilty just because he didn't show enough emotional support for his family. So, 2 days after the family's disappearance, on August 15th, police accused Chris of first-degree murder and the death of his wife and his children, as well as first-degree unlawful termination of a pregnancy. On August 16th, only hours, literally a couple hours after Chris was put in jail, Shannon's body was found on the property owned by Chris's former employer, Anadarko Petroleum. And they fired him the same day that he got arrested. Now, from the petroleum site where Shannon was found, she was found in a shallow grave, buried. And after she was found, Celeste and little Bella were found in drums of crude oil, and they were submerged in them. So it's sad. It's really sad that 2 little girls were found in oil tanks, basically, just submerged in them, and then this beautiful mother who was gonna have another baby found dead in a grave. And by the way, she was 15 weeks pregnant by this time. They were supposed to have their gender reveal party the following week, literally the following weekend, to announce that they were gonna have baby Nico, which was a little boy. And it's very, very, very sad that not only did his whole family die, but he also lost a child that he didn't even get to grasp in his arms yet. Like, it's very sad. And I feel for that family. I feel for them so much, because Shannon was just a great person. She was so humble and kind, and she just loved helping people with her new job that she had. She loved helping people. So after they found the bodies and everything, Chris was also accused of having an affair with a female from his work. Now, she has cooperated with the police, and it is true. She has been sleeping with him. Now, it's also been said that he's also been sleeping with a guy as well. So, Chris had a secret life, apparently. He was obviously unhappy in his marriage, so he got attention to where he saw fit from both women and men. But for the man, he did have a man who was his lover. It was a 10-month relationship after June 2017, so it lasted 10 whole months. The other man knew that Chris had kids, obviously, but he didn't know that he had a wife because Chris acted single, apparently. So that's another red flag. Not only are you cheating on your wife, you're completely keeping her a secret. The guy, who is not identified right now, but the guy that was sleeping with Chris for those 10 months, he basically said that Chris portrayed himself as a victim, always would make his lover feel empathy for him because Chris hated his life. He hated living a lie because he couldn't be open about his sexuality. Told his lover that if his sexuality were to ever come out, that he would be shunned and he wouldn't be allowed to see his kids. Nicole Atkinson was Shannon's friend. She was the last person to see Shannon alive on August 13th when she dropped her off at 2 a.m. And then when the day later, when she was supposed to go to her doctor's appointment, she called for her and Chris answered, and he told Nicole that he didn't know where she was and that she was on a play date, but he never gave the name of a friend. And she kept asking, and she was confused and concerned. But she also thought that Chris was cheating on Shannon because of his behavior in the past couple months. How he's been very standoffish and just to himself and not really about Shannon. So she did have speculation with that. And Shannon told Nicole that she wanted to leave Chris, that she did want to leave Chris. She was ready to leave Chris because of their marital issues. They were having issues behind closed doors, which is normal. I mean, not every picture perfect family is literally picture perfect. There's always something going on. And so that day when Nicole called asking where Shannon was, Chris admitted to Nicole that they're having marital issues and that how they were going to separate and that he didn't know where Shannon was. So, in speculation to all that, not only does he tell her he doesn't know where she is, he then tells her that she's on a play date, won't give her the name of the friend that's with her on the play date, and then he goes and tells her that they're having marital issues, but he still doesn't know where they are. After he found out that his dirty little secrets came out in the public, Chris told the police the truth. And when I say this, I want you guys to understand that you have every right to your opinion, you have every right to your theory. I am simply just stating what he is saying, but I can tell you I do not agree with it at all. Doesn't sound right to me, and actually it reminded me of a movie, which I will bring up right now, but still. He said that he did kill Shannon, but he only killed Shannon because she was strangling Celeste because apparently he told her he wanted to separate, and they got in a heated argument. And so when he came home, he saw her strangling Celeste, and that Bella was already blue and lifeless. And so that is why he killed Shannon and strangled her. That is what he said. And then he also said that he took all of the bodies to the oil site. Once his secret came out, he blamed his wife. Why? I don't know. I really don't, but it does remind me of the movie True Story. I don't know if you guys watched it, about Christian Longo, but he killed his family, made up story after story after story, and also pretended to be someone else at the same time. But Christian Longo, when he admitted to killing his family, he only admitted to killing his wife because she was killing his kids. And in that story, it's not believable at all that she would hurt her own kids when he was actually damaging that family and she wasn't. So with him, he was found guilty for actually killing his wife and his 3 kids, because he could have snapped. He was a very bad person, so he could have snapped. And I think it's interesting how Chris, as soon as he says the truth, he blames it on his wife. And when all of us look at his wife, it's impossible, and I mean impossible, to see that she could do that to her kids. It's mind-blowing that he would even say that. It's mind-blowing that he would put the guilt on her, and it's mind-blowing that she could actually be the cause of her daughter's death, and that's why he was justified to kill her and his unborn child. I'm going to tell you this right now, I do not believe that. I do not believe that Shannon was trying to kill her kids at all, especially over a separation, because it's something she actually wanted in August. So why would she get upset about something that she wanted to do and then go after her kids, which she loves her kids. She talks about her kids 24/7. She was excited about her pregnancy. Like, it makes no sense. That's crazy. I think he's a huge liar. I don't think she did it at all. Then again, I don't have the evidence to prove it. All I can say is I'm waiting for the autopsy report to see if they were strangled, because I mean, it could say a lot or it could say a little, but at this point I don't think Shannon did it. I think Chris is very good at manipulation, and he's very conniving, because even the day of his interview, he straight lied. He straight tried to pretend like, oh, where's my family? I want my family to come home, when he knew where they were. He knew where they were. They were in the oil site. He put them there. So if he's gonna lie right away off the bat like that, you can't help his case, really. You just can't. If he lies about that, especially when he already knew that they were already dead and everything, and he still just bold-faced lied on TV, that just tells you a lot about his character, and that just shows how guilty he really, really is. Now, when we try to think about why he would do it, if he's proven guilty, because so far he is guilty, but they still need the autopsy, they still have to do other verdicts, so I think everyone on this population knows that he's guilty. It's just proving that he actually did it and not his wife. Like, I think that's what they're trying to prove here. But with everything that has happened and everything we know, I want to know what made him do it. Like, seriously, what made him do it? I know that they had financial problems back in 2015, and they had $70,000 in debt for student loans. But when Shannon got her job with helping people be fit and all that, they were doing good after that. So I don't think it was because of money. I think that he just got tired of hiding his identity, hiding his sexuality, couldn't take it anymore. And with a new baby coming, thinking that he might have to stay with her forever when maybe he lost his love for her. I mean, we really don't know what was going on in his brain. And that's what's so fascinating to me. Like, I want to know what was going on when this happened. What was he thinking? Like, why did he want to do it? What was it going to accomplish? Did he know he was going to get caught? Did he think he was going to get away with it? I don't know. But I would love to know his actual thoughts. Like, why did you do it? Because if you were that unhappy, just leave your wife, your kids, and move on with your life. But some people don't see it that way. And sadly, things like this happen where the mother and the kids are killed. So at 1:48 a.m. Monday, August 12th, that is when Shannon was dropped off at her house. Police said that Watts told them that he woke up around that time and that him and his wife had an emotional but civil discussion about separating. And he's apparently saying that it was him wanting to separate and that there's no speculation on her wanting to separate, even though her friend openly admitted that she did want to separate with him because of the distance and because of the marital problems that they were having. And so 5:27 a.m., Chris Watts was backing up his truck into his garage. Police said that he initially told them that he loaded tools into his vehicle and left for work at a job site. He told officials that Shannon and his daughters were in bed when he left. Said that he had texted his wife and that she said that she was going to take the children to a play date and that he didn't know what their play date's name was. 1:40 p.m., the police were called to Shannon's home because after she was dropped off, her friend got worried because she missed her doctor's appointment. And when they did check the house, there was no sign of foul play. She did come home after the business trip, and it looks like she never left either because everything was still in the house. Everything she took with her to the business trip, literally everything was still in the house. And so on Tuesday, August 14th at 7 a.m., the Frederick police requested the assistance of the FBI and Colorado Bureau of Investigation to search for Shannon and the girls. And Tuesday afternoon, that is when Chris spoke with Kusa TV, and he said that his family's disappearance was earth-shattering. If somebody has her, just bring her back. He said, I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here. And remember, he knew where they were. He was lying on television. He moved them to the oil site. They were dead. So he put up this whole front for people to think that he was innocent and to think that he was actually concerned about his family. On Wednesday, August 15th, around 4 p.m., police used a drone to investigate the oil and gas site where they believed that Shannon and the girls' bodies were. And they did find a matching bed sheet that was in the Watts home. And then there's evidence found where the bodies are found. Wednesday evening, investigators discovered that Chris was having an affair with a coworker, in which he denied, of course, at first, and that he would only tell the truth after speaking with his father. So the police let him speak to his father. He told police that after telling Shannon that he wanted to separate, he saw her on the baby monitor strangling Celeste in another room. He told police Bella was already blue and sprawled out on her bed, apparently dead, and that he went into a rage and strangled Shannon to death. Just one thing, if he saw Shannon strangling her own child, can't that footage be proof? Unless he got rid of it, which he probably freaking did, since he tried to get rid of evidence of the bed sheets already. I think that the baby monitor can be good evidence as to whether Shannon had anything to do with her kids' deaths or not, or if he's just straight out lying. So 11:30 at night on that day, he said he loaded all three of the bodies in the back of his truck and took them to the oil site where he buried Shannon and then dumped the kids in oil tanks and filled the oil tanks. So 11:30 that night, he was charged with suspicion on 3 first-degree murder charges and 3 charges of tampering with deceased bodies. Thursday, August 16th, Watts appeared in court and he was denied a bond. Thursday afternoon, Shannon's body was found in a shallow grave exactly where he said they were, or exactly where she said she was, and then Celeste and Bella's bodies were found inside the oil tanks right near the grave of their mother. So they were able to find the mother, and then they were able to find the 2 little girls right after. Friday, August 17th, all 3 victims were positively identified as Shannon Watts, Celeste Watts, and Bella Watts. And autopsies were conducted, but they still have not been released. And that's a huge issue right now, especially going forward with this case. Same day that all 3 victims were identified as Celeste, Bella, and Shannon Watts, there was candlelight vigil for them. It was cute because it had flowers and stuffed animals and crosses and photos. So the community was very, very broken about it. It was very sad. August 20th, 4 p.m., Watts gets officially charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of first-degree murder of causing the death of a person under the age of 12 while being in a position of trust, 1 count of unlawful termination of pregnancy, and 3 counts of tampering with a deceased body. Tuesday, August 21st, Chris was brought to court for his alleged crimes and to be formally advised of the charges that are being brought up against him. He will be held in the Weld County Jail where he's at, and his next court appearance is November 19th. So there's more deceit and lying than evidence, but at the same time there's also evidence. So I just want to know your guys' theories. I want to know your guys' thoughts, comments. Do you think he did it? Do you think he was just unhappy with his life, couldn't take anymore, and killed his family? Do you guys think he did it? Do you think Shannon could have actually done it and he killed Shannon because of it? Or do you think he's just straight guilty? Once we get the autopsy report, I will be doing an update because that will tell us a lot more. And that will tell us if the kids were actually strangled and whose DNA was on it and all that stuff. So hopefully we get the autopsy report soon. But in the meantime, please give me your thoughts. I just want to say this story is heartbreaking. A whole family dead because of something that could have been totally avoided, in all honesty. But like I said, guys, my channel is Closer to Hope. Please watch this video and I will try to get updates as soon as possible. But like I said, feel free to comment, feel free to tell me your opinions, and let's go from there. Alright guys.